There are all types of interviews. Prepare yourself for everything. We're talking phone interviews. We're talking about conference call phone interviews where you have multiple people on the line. We're talking about one-on-one interviews face-to-face. We're talking about panel interviews. We're talking about multiple interviews in one day. Be prepared for any type of interview. A phone interview means your resume is doing its job. It is a screening phone call. It is a conversational phone call. It's a lot of questions coming from the other side and answers that you're giving. But you also want to be prepared with your elevator speech. The tell us about yourself 30 to 60 second speech, as well as have some questions prepared for the interviewer on the other end of the phone. If the interviewer does not give you next steps in their process, ask what the next steps are going to be. Once you get to a face-to-face, your resume's done the job. You are now the living, breathing resume. This is the point where you get to sell yourself, sell your personality, all your qualifications, all your experience. You now have an opportunity to get the interviewer to identify that you are the person for the job. If you've taken the job description, mapped it to your resume, have your elevator speech, and the questions prepared, you will have a conversation. You will sell yourself to that interviewer. Remember, you're sitting there because you have something that that company wants. You have value. That's why you're there. Basically, a panel interview is more heads and more questions. You just want to make sure that you have eye contact with the person who asked the question, but when you give the answer, you give it to the group. Panel interviews may not be in person. You may do it over Skype. You may be asked to go to a conference room where there'll be multiple screens because people are in multiple locations. Be prepared for any type of panel interview. But remember, make eye contact with the person who asked the question, and then make eye contact as you give the answer to everyone. Another type of panel interview is the conference call, which quite frankly can be one of the most difficult because you don't get to read body language. You don't really know what is going on the other side of the phone. You don't want to overtalk. You want to pause. You want to ask if anyone has questions. That allows you to have a natural pause. You still want to have your elevator speech. You still want to know what the job description is. You want to map it to your resume, and you want to have those questions ready. Conference calls, again, can be one of the toughest things to navigate, but if you're prepared, you'll get through it. Okay, now you find yourself in a situation where you find out you didn't get the job. What do? I mean, it really sucks. What you need to do is you got to keep the door open. You want to send a thank you, regardless of whether you got the job or not. Do you know whether maybe you were second in line? Maybe the person they offer the job to ultimately doesn't take the job. You move up the ladder. What it means is you just want to keep communication open with the company. There may be other opportunities at the company, so you want to stay connected to every single person that you interviewed with. How do you do that? By simply asking if you can contact them every 4 to 6 weeks. You want to be able to stay at the front of their minds by simply dropping them a, how are you doing? Just checking in. That's all you need to do.